The first thing I always tell people is you need to enjoy what you're doing at work. You spend so many hours of your day at work. If you're not happy, you're going to be unhappy, and it's going to affect everything in the rest of your life, and your marriage, your kids, your family life, your social life, how you interact with your friends. Every single aspect of that gets affected by how you feel at work. And so I would start asking the question, do you dread getting up in the morning and going to work? Is the last day of the week better than the first day of the week? Is there nothing good that's happening during the week? And when you start seeing things like that, it's time to take a step back. Are you so overwhelmed that it just seems like there's just too much going on? Do you not have time to do the things that you really want to do? Do you feel like you're just swamped all the time? I think it's normal to feel swamped some of the time, maybe even a lot of the time. But if you feel like you're drowning so much that you don't know which way is up all the time, or more than 50% of the time, that's time to take a step back. And taking a step back might be as easy as just taking time off and taking a week off, taking some vacation, kind of recharging your batteries. But it might speak to just something more, and just, more severe, I guess, for lack of a better word, burnout. But so that's kind of the first thing that I would start looking at. Tell people to start by taking a step back and reevaluating. Take some time off. And whether that is a long weekend where you are truly not working at all, you're not picking up your computer or whatever it is, or take a week off and spend some time just taking, kind of getting the rest that you need, feeling rejuvenated, and then taking some time to really think about it and figure out whether this is a short-term issue because you've got 3 projects on you right now that have a deadline, and this is not going to be ongoing. But this is an issue with the people that you're working with, or this is an issue with, you've just taken off more than you can chew. You need to figure out where the issue actually lies. And then once you figure that out, you need to really act on that and not just let it keep going. I think it's really tempting for people to feel that if they don't do what they've been at, if they continue to do everything that's on their plate, don't continue to take on every single project that's been asked of them, that somehow they're going to be diminished in the workplace, and that's not really true. What you need, what your organization needs, is you that's 100% doing as many projects as you can. They don't need you that's 50% doing twice as many projects. That doesn't do anybody any good. First of all, make sure that you enjoy the people that you work with. I personally think that is probably a very important thing. And find people in your workplace that you would enjoy spending time with. And I'm not saying that you necessarily have to, but that you would. One of my colleagues calls them people that you'd want in a foxhole and people you'd want with you in a pub. So the people you'd want with you in the foxhole are the ones that have your back at all times, and you have no concerns about the fact that they will be there to take care of you and to help you and have your back. People you want with you, in a pub are the people that you just enjoy hanging out with. You don't mind having a beer with, and you'll have a conversation around. And you actually need both types of people. You need people that have your back, but you also need people that you don't mind just having a conversation with and you enjoy being with. And then if you find that rare combination of both in one person, that's probably the best thing. But find those pub people at work, and make sure that you carve out a little bit of time to spend with them. And maybe if that's, eating lunch or just going to, wherever their office is and talking to them for 10 minutes, whether it's about work or not about work, but having those little pockets of time with other people that you truly enjoy being with and are not just there because you have to be. It's really important, and I'll be honest, I do a really bad job of this myself, but to keep personal time as personal time and work time as work time. Make sure that you have the time to spend with your family, and whether that's, you make sure you go out with your husband once a week and you don't talk about anything related to work, or you spend time with your kids and you take a day off to just hang out with your kids. And make sure that you have that balance, that you're not working every weekend, that you're putting in 16-hour days every single day so you don't see your family. Those are the things things that you want to avoid. And when you are home, I will never tell anybody that they shouldn't work at all at home, because I certainly know I do enough of it. However, it has to be balanced. I mean, if you're spending your entire evening in front of your computer, well, you might as well be at work. And so have that balance. And so if you're going to put in a couple of hours, I mean, yeah, put in that couple of hours, but do it, after dinner time, or, find a time that you can set aside to do that, so that it's not encroaching on your entire evening or your entire weekend. And certainly not every single day. I mean, we all have situations where your entire evening is spent on something that you need to get done for work, or your entire weekend is spent on something that you need to get done for work. But when that becomes the norm and not the exception, I mean, and you are the only one who can create that work-life balance for yourself. I find that most people who say that they just can't do it, well, that's not true. That's because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to do it. And being able to do that may mean taking some things off your plate and delegating it, or not saying yes to a project or something like that. But at the same time, you are the only one who can do that.